Welcome back, everybody, for some more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Links Invitational action. We just finished up the second round of Swiss, so let's check on our players and how they're doing.
There's some interesting results in round two. We see Alejandro Garcia went 3-1 at table 2, sticky in the tournament. It'll be curious to see how he does in this Duel Links tournament that is outside of his ordinary comfort zone as a TCG player. We only had 2 sweeps in round 2, those being at table 1 and table 7, with Rafael R taking a 3-0 win and Franco B taking a 3-0 win.
Yeah, lots of awesome Duel Links action so far, with 2 rounds down, 2 rounds to go before our top 4 cut. We're halfway done with Swiss for today. What are your thoughts so far? Are you surprised by anything? Is there anything that you thought we'd see that we haven't?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at how popular Blackwings are. I expected them to be one of the most popular decks, but I thought they would share that popularity with Wickcrafters, which we've seen surprisingly little of.
Yeah, certainly. But our round 3 is almost underway. Their players are preparing. It's Rodrigo R versus Adrian V. In this matchup, it's going to be Invoked Element Sabers by Rodrigo against Adrian's Dark Magicians. So yet again, another Dark Magician deck, another round, looking for that opener to go first, that consistency. And then we do get to see Element Sabers again, which I think is top 2. Element Sabers and Witchcrafters, one of the best decks right now. I'm excited to see how this matchup is going to play out. I think the players are ready, though, so let's get ready for Swiss round 3 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Remote Duel Invitational.
Rodrigo is a Duel Links influencer from Peru, so I'm sure he has several fans that are rooting for him in this duel.
All right, so let's see what we have here. 2 back rows, and that's it for the Dark Magician player. Adrian not opening up with what he ideally wants. No circle. Maybe he just has that raw navigation with the Dark Magician in his hand face down. But did you see a normal summon here of the Element Saber?
Olahue.
But no field spell. So without the field spell, he's not going to be able to just dump the monster for free from his deck, but a direct attack is going to be met by a Karma Cut.
Not the worst, but Adrian got a very poor start here, discarding Illusion Magic with Karma Cut. And not having Dark Magical Circle at any point.
Yeah, but he does have the Magician Navigation, which means the last card in hand is the Dark Magician. So if you're not going to draw a very good hand, at least his opponent didn't open up with anything too crazy to threaten lethal or anything. So here comes
because of that. Because of that, it's actually likely we're going to see Adrian win on this turn, because he can now negate one of those 2 back rows with the Magician's Navigation in his graveyard. So Rodrigo needs both of them to be able to defend him to survive the turn. Or a Sphere Primo in his hand.
Ooh, Heatwave, what a top deck. Wow, that is a huge top deck. So yeah, his opponent has no monsters on the field, and he's cutting his opponent off from summoning during the following turn. So that was one of the best cards he probably could have drawn in the situation with 2 Dark Magicians on the field.
Rodrigo uses Canadia here to put one of the Dark Magicians face down. Do you negate it?
Oh yeah, it's game. Why not? Force it out. Even if he doesn't.
I hate to say it, I don't think I would negate it. I would let it go, because now I'm afraid the other card is even better. But it survived. And I don't think there was any real risk of him losing, because Heatwave is basically stopping Rodrigo's entire next turn.
So you take it the safe way, but that was wham bam, we're done in 2 turns. That was the fastest game that we've seen so far today, showing how strong Dark Magician can be if your opponent doesn't open up too strong. And just 2 Dark Magicians, that's 5,000 damage with the navigation to negate the Canadia, and it's over just like that.
Incredibly, he didn't even open with Dark Magical Circle, but because his opponent drew poorly enough, it didn't matter.
Right, yeah, it's crazy that we haven't seen. I expected so much more of this Elemental Saber deck, but not having the field spell, not really having access to fit anything in your graveyard, not having Alistair to get things going, like early just had a La Jin and a Book of Moon. Like, if you want to compare to like how the start kind of was, which isn't necessarily the strongest kind of opening he was looking for, especially with a weak opening from a Dark Magician player like that.
Yeah, we'll see if they switch decks here.
Yeah, Adrian is fresh off making the top 3 for the Duel Links in the February 2019 KC Cup. That's very hard. I've played in so many KC Cups, and it's difficult to stay at the top. I've been like top 10 on the first like 2 days maybe, but when the third day starts, I gotta get some sleep, and then like I just get on a losing streak or something. So to do well in the KC Cup is just phenomenal.
It is not an easy tournament. You just go from duel to duel to duel to duel, and there are a lot of good players.
Yeah, it's certainly, and I'm a tournament veteran. I've been playing in Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments my whole life, and that grind, the 3 days you have to play, 3.5 days, I guess, kind of. If you sleep, it's difficult. So definitely nothing to bat your eyes at. But it does look like Rodrigo is going to stick with his Elemental Saber deck. He's just gonna hope like, I didn't draw that good. Like maybe this will work out for me game 2. Maybe the comfort pick there, where you're just playing with what you're more comfortable with.
Could be.
Yep, and Adrian's also going to stick with Dark Magicians because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. See, that's my motto. So far, it's been like, no, I just have so many different decks I could beat you with. But I'm a more ain't broke, you got to beat it. Like, once you beat it, then I'll consider changing it. Show me that you got what it takes first, and then I'll switch decks.
Not a bad strategy.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see this matchup play out. Adrian is up 1-0. Both these duelists, I believe, are 2-0. So winning here and going 3-0 in a 4 Swiss round tournament is huge. It puts you in a very advantageous spot to make that top 4 cutoff.
Yeah, it's a tough position because players need to go at least 3-1 to make the top 4. And it remains to be seen if the 3-1 even guarantees them a spot in the top 4.
Yeah, if you lose like maybe round 1 and then win the next 3, you might end up being 5th. You know, that one player on the outside looking in, but you just gotta hope that your tiebreakers will be good enough. So
we'll see.
How do you think? So do you think the matchup is gonna play different if maybe Rodrigo gets a chance to go first here?
Maybe. I think it's gonna come more down to whether or not he's able to get summon Alistair, get Invocation online. In both Coquitus, the water fusion monster, it can be really tough for Dark Magician decks to get over. So that's probably his best bet in the early game before trying to win the trio. And I think it's going to come significantly down to whether he can play.
Right, and it looks like we have the same kind of opening here with Adrian going first at Dark Magicians, setting 2 cards to his back row and passing. We see that awesome KC Grand Tournament playmat again.
2 games in a row with that Dark Magical Circle or Magician's Rod. That's not very likely.
And still having faith in the deck on top of that.
Yeah. Summons Molahu, sets cards to his back row.
It was almost the exact same opener as the first game. Almost.
$1,900 attack is perfect in case his opponent has Destiny Draw skill, because once he takes 2,000 points of damage, if that is in fact his skill, he would be able to draw any card in his deck.
Adrian draws for his turn. Let's see if we can get a Dark Magic Circle online. He didn't have a navigation or anything to activate during his opponent's turn, so it looks like he actually just drew pretty poorly again for his second game in a row.
I think Rodrigo probably gave a sigh of relief when Adrian's turn started and no Magician's Navigation was activated.
Now, so I was just thinking about this. So if you want to play the same deck, right, and you want to still throw your opponent off, maybe make them think you switch decks, like do you have that same deck for different characters with different sleeves and different playmats, like registered to go, but they're all the same exact deck, just to maybe try and catch your opponent off guard?
I would. You have so many deck slots in Duel Links that there's no reason not to do that.
Yeah, that's something that would be interesting to see if it plays out throughout the tournament. If any of the players try and catch their opponents like that. But we do see a Karma Cut coming down. So the Element Saber's not going to be able to go to the graveyard. Magician's Rod, normal summon, finally he's doing something.
I assume it's going to get him the Dark Magical Circle he had been lacking.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if there is a Cosmic Cyclone or a Geki Break, or maybe a bad aim on Rodrigo's side.
Goes for the Magician's Navigation. I guess he really just had none of what he needed. And he doesn't want to
cancel. Does he play Dark Magical Circle? We haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to say he probably does.
I would assume so. I think it's safe to assume, but a direct attack here from the Rod, 1,600, taking you down. Let's see if, but this will now allow him to trigger his dual skill to basically draw an Alistair if he's using Sorcerer Conduit.
Raigeki Break in the end phase is great here because it's able to get rid of the Magician's Navigation, which he can safely assume is the card, the freshly set card that was searched for with Magician's Rod.
Just another card to his back row. Only traps here. That Karma Cut coming in clutch here for Adrian, taking rid of Rodrigo's one monster that he had.
Yeah, 1900 attack points can be tough to get rid of when you can't summon Dark Magician to the field.
So looks like he's going to put Magician's Rod to defense mode and end his turn.
Yeah, he does not want to put either Destiny Draw or any other skill online by dealing more damage to Rodrigo.
Nope, here comes an Element Saber. Go straight to battle.
I really thought we were
see
long
another
past
Karma
the
Cut?
days. I really thought we were
Another
long past
Karma
the days of 1900 attack monsters.
Jemai Elf all the way back to the beginning. Yeah, Jemai Elf was a game changer when that card was released. I'll never forget it, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Canadia's coming out to put down the monster face down.
It has 0 defense points, so that's not bad. Magician's Rod can destroy it while it's in defense.
True, true. Still no field spell here from Rodrigo, which is very surprising, but it is a bad aim he has face down. Since he just put an activated card effect, he's able to destroy a card on the field. He's going to go for the other face down.
Not the worst use of a bad aim.
Not bad, but it's illusion magic. He's going to be able to chain that to tribute off his rod, add some Dark Magicians. The Canadian is going to still resolve and put the Element Saber face down. So I would assume here that Adrian has to draw a Dark Magical Circle. He has 3 out of 11 cards, so odds are pretty good. Better than 25% chance.
He also has 2 Magician's Navigations left, which he's also looking for now that we know he has the Dark Magician. Oh man, he ends his turn.
Nothing. But does his opponent have another monster to do that extra 200 points of damage he needs? Nope, just the 1900, leaving him at 200. But as long as you have a life point, you're still in the duel.
This is brutal.
He's done a whole lot of nothing this game. There's a Dark Magical Circle. It almost takes a 33% chance to be able to get it, but does his opponent have another response? Nope. Just grabs another Dark Magical Circle, because what else is left in his deck at this point?
Where are the Magician's Navigations? He doesn't even have one!
Yeah, I guess there's 2 in the bottom 8. Unfortunate that first one was so easily destroyed. Nothing.
Oh, man.
Adrian showing why Dark Magicians can sometimes fall apart, and this was just a beatdown deck. I mean, a lot of times that's what Element Sabers are. It's just like a beatdown kind of deck, but pure just attack, attack, attack until it's good. Unfortunately, that is the downside of Dark Magician. We've seen how powerful they can be, how strong cards like Magician Navigations are, but that's 2 games in a row. He hasn't got the circle. He was able to still win that game 1, but game 2, he could never really get into the game.
Yeah, that must have been painful for Adrian.
Certainly. I would be surprised if he stuck with it, because that's 2 bad draws in a row. I would imagine he's going to switch. What deck would I switch to if I was playing against Invoked Element Sabers? Because I would assume my opponent's going to stick with it. They lost with Invoked Element Sabers, they stuck with it. And then they won with it, why would they switch there? That wouldn't make too much sense to me. So what would I switch to beat it? I'm just going to say Witchcrafters, because I love that deck, and I don't know why people are playing more of it. But we'll have to wait and see. What do you think, Mike?
I think Witchcrafters would be a good choice against Element Sabers. I think they have a strong matchup for sure, but you don't know that he's going to keep the Element Sabers there.
Yeah, I've been wrong. Like, all the logic I've been going through in my head when I'm trying to predict what I would do in the player's scenario. They prove me wrong. I guess they're just even trying to next level. I'm thinking too old school. These players are trying to show off. They're trying to win with all their decks. I like that though. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna make the bold prediction. They're both gonna switch to Blackwings.
Let's see. We'll find out.
We'll wait. The players do have 3 minutes to switch their decks and everything. Blackwings have just been so strong, so consistent. Even in the games we've seen them draw whirlwinds and gales, and that's it. They were able to find a way to get to establish a board and fight back and break through boards and win. I wouldn't be surprised if Adrian switched to Dark Magicians.
Yeah, Blackwings have so many cards that were heavy hitters. Blackwings have so many cards that were heavy hitters in the TCG, like Black Whirlwind. And in a format where you're using a deck of no fewer than 20 cards instead of 40 cards, and you can consistently draw Black Whirlwind and other key cards, it's even stronger than you might think when you're just looking at the deck.
Yeah, especially because they have like the newer Blackwings. We don't even see like the original Blackwings like Soroka the Dawn, Shura the Blue Flame, Blizzard of the Far North. Like they have so many good cards, they don't even need to use the original like OG Blackwings.
Yeah, and for those wondering, those cards are available in Duel Links. You could play them if you wanted to.
Yeah, they're all in there, but who needs that when you got Chris, all the tuners, multiple different tuners you can spell summon from your hand. You control Blackwings. You got Breeze, you can spell summon when you search it. It's definitely a powerful deck with a lot of options, which is why we've seen so much of it this weekend. But who knows? Neither of these players have played it yet. We're down 2 games through this round, right? And it is 1-1, so it could be anybody's match.
We're going to see at least 2 more duels played out, maybe even 3.
Yeah, I'm excited. We had 1 game previously today go all the way to 5, but game 3 is underway. It's all tied up, and looks like they're both rocking the same decks. So no switches. They both got to win with their decks, and they want to see which one's going to get that 3rd win. It is a best of 5, so the first player to win 3 will move on with the win. But for the first time, we see the field spell coming down.
Alice of the Elemental Lords. He uses it to add Element Saber Lafala to his hand, normal summon it, and set 3 cards to the back row. Against Dark Magician, that seems like a near lock.
Yep, he was able to go first. Had the whole setup. No, not again. Do face down and end your turn.
Adrian can't activate Dark Magical Circle because it'll be negated by Lafala, which negates a spell or a trap card by sending an Element Saber from the hand to the graveyard, and the Field spell lets him send an Element Saber from the deck instead of the hand. So now, the best that Adrian could really hope for there was Magician's Rod to at least try to attack over it, so that maybe he can Dark Magical Circle next turn. But this is bad for him unless he's got 2 Magician's Navigations face down and is ready to activate both.
Yeah. So he skips his battle phase?
Yes, he skips his battle phase with the effect of the Palace, since he searched with it on the previous turn. And he'll skip his next battle phase too, because he searched again on this turn.
Yeah, so he's just getting all the searches out, setting his board up, and he's going to be able to disrupt the Dark Magician player on every step, hopefully. And then when he's finally set up, he'll be able to attack for game. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. All 3 games Adrian's opening has been set 2 pass. I think that's so interesting. I mean, this game, there's a reason why maybe he wouldn't activate the circle right away, but... And he's stuck with that Dark Magician, ride or die.
He's in big trouble here, Adrian. He's going to need to activate 2 relevant spell and trap cards in a single turn, and then hope that nothing on Rodrigo's field can interfere with him. But he's going for a Dark Magical Circle here, which is interesting. I guess he feels like he doesn't have much of a choice. So Lafala's effect back.
He's going to send the Element Saber from his deck to the graveyard to try and negate. Magician Navigation is going to be chained.
Yeah, so the Dark Magical Circle
is so huge.
bait.
It was the bait for the Magician Navigation.
Yeah, once the Palace is on the field, all of the Element Sabers have incredible effects that can activate by sending Element Sabers from the deck to the graveyard instead of the hand. So it's basically an advantage. You gain an advantage by activating the effect, in addition to getting whatever the effect is.
And while all the Element Sabers are in the graveyard, you can change their attributes to whatever element you want, and then you can use Invocation to fuse for mainly Purgatory. A lot of times you pick Fire.
And if that's not enough, Palace of the Elemental Lords also increases the attack points of all of your monsters and defense points by 200 for each attribute in your graveyard.
So we see this Dark Magic attack. The 3 face downs, there could be a lot of responses here from Rodrigo. Alright, takes it, destroys him, and another attack from Dark Magician. Maybe the Canadian will be saved to protect the mole. Alright, yep, Canadian is going to protect Element Saber Mole. Dark Magician going face down. Let's see what's next here for Adrian. trying to pilot his way out of this sticky situation he's in after a super strong opener here from Rodrigo.
Getting rid of the Lapolo was crucial here because the Dark Magician deck is heavily reliant on spells and traps. The fact that Rodrigo is only able to use it to negate the activation of a single spell card, even though it was as powerful as Dark Magical Circle, keeps Adrian in the duel and might allow him to come back.
Right, yeah. Rodrigo hasn't drawn an Alistair or anything, so without the invocation follow-up, it's going to be rough for him to get back into this game. So the Canadian's going to activate to put the Element Saber face down, and then the Canadian's going to summon itself from Rodrigo's graveyard. Canadian's a Paleozoic trap, so anytime you activate a trap card or a trap card is activated, you can special summon them from the graveyard if they are in there.
Rodrigo really needs Invocation. He needs Alistair and Invocation to turn this around.
He certainly does. Oh, looks like he's going to use Palace again to search for another Elemental Saber.
I assume he'll get another Molahu. But unfortunately, it can't attack, so the Magician's Rod is going to stay on the field, able to destroy Canadia.
Yeah, even though he's been having like all the cards and stuff, Palace like pluses you, but not be able to attack, not be able to deal with your opponent's field, can be rough. I mean, he needs the Alistair. Like the deck needs Alistair. Without the Invocation having that other engine backing it up, it really is a little lackluster.
Impressively, though, he has 3 monsters in his graveyard of 3 different original attributes. So the Molahu is actually strong enough to go head-to-head with Dark Magician, and if he uses Molahu's effect to send another attribute to the graveyard, he'll have even more attack points. It'll be 2,700. So that could actually be problematic for Adrian.
Nope, looks like we're going to see a tribute summon, flip summon a Dark Magician. I don't know if he's going to... I just saw the animation coming out to summon Dark Magician. I was like, is he going to tribute for a third one? But he doesn't have a circle face up, so there would be no need for that. Taking a second to think, he knows that he can pump up with the Molar's effect.
Yeah, the Molar puts the Dark Magician face down. But sending the Element Saber from the deck to the graveyard could make it stronger if he has the a fourth attribute.
Right. Alright, see what the game plan is here. Maybe a Wall Disruption? I'm always going to think about that card. It was a mainstay in a lot of decks for so long in Duel Links. But now we have so many other options, a lot of other chainable traps that have kind of taken its place among most deck lists.
Dark Magician successfully attacks and destroys Canadia.
Now he's going to try and attack the Molu.
Now, if Rodrigo can put the Magician's Rod or the other Dark Magician face down while adding a fourth attribute to his graveyard, he would have successfully baited Adrian into attacking a stronger monster. Let's find out. No, he just has another Dark Monster to add to the graveyard. The best he can do is stop the attack.
Yeah, put it face down. So no pump up for the attack here, just the putting it face down. Not the greatest, but not the worst. He's still giving himself another turn to draw into Alistair and maybe make a Purgatrio and wipe out Adrian's entire board in one shot.
That's exactly what he needs, time.
Alright, Rodrigo draws. He's going to flip up the Cosmic Cyclone. That's a good sign for Rodrigo. He's making space on his back row, so maybe he drew an Alistair and he's going to need that zone to activate Invocation. You're going to banish the Magician Navigation. Definitely can't use that while he has 3 monsters on the field.
Can't. Don't forget, though, even if he has the Alistair and Invocation, he can't attack this turn because he searched with his Palace on the last turn.
Yeah, he's been using Palace every turn, so... Alright, so it's another card face down. Pumps his guy up so he's going to be stronger than Dark Magician. Just for that turn, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the end phase, the attribute resets, and he only has 3 attributes in the graveyard, so his attack points drop back down from 2,700 to 2,500.
Is that a Floodgate trap hole on the flip summon of the Dark Magician? Put it back face down permanently?
That's not bad.
And then he can still put the other Dark Magician face down. So, you know, he's doing what you said. He needs time. He's waiting. He's looking for Alistair.
He's also gradually thinning his deck, so he's more and more likely to draw Alistair.
Very true, very true.
This was a very good display of the power of Palace of the Elemental Lords.
Yeah, it's the first time we've actually seen the Eldritch Saber Invoke deck draw it. And it's like all their monsters become super powerful.
An interesting tribute summon for Adrian.
Another Floodgate Trap Hole, gonna put that Magician face down. Oh, he does have a Magician Navigation in the grave. I was thinking, did he use one earlier? And yeah, that's how he got the 2 Dark Magicians out. So he's gonna stop that Floodgate with the Magician Navigation. Magician of Dark Illusion effect activates.
Looks like he's good. Well, he can go for game here.
Because he can only put one of them face down.
He really has to hope that there's no Element Saber in the deck for Molyneux to use the effect to put one of the Dark Magicians face down.
Oh, there wasn't. And just like that, you found a way. Without Alistair, the Dark Magician player Adrian is able to come back and win this game that looked so bleak. He just knew his opponent was one Alistair away from winning that entire duel. With 10 cards left in his deck, he probably already had an Invocation set. Because, I mean, if you're anything like me and you're playing Invocation Alistair, you don't always draw Invocation. But when you do, you never have Alistair. And that's probably what, you know, the downside to that strong engine. But unfortunate that he was able to take advantage of so many turns of just having to face down Dark Magicians with essentially no trap set. Well, he had the Canadian, I guess that.
I have to admit, I'm surprised by how that duel ended. I was expecting the Element Saber player to win, but in the end, he didn't have enough to defend himself.
He ran out of monsters. Yeah, ran out of monsters. The only ones left was the one that he needed to draw. Like, it's kind of frustrating. Like when you put yourself in the best position, you thin your deck out as much as you can. You know what your win condition is, but then like it's just not there for you. But you gotta be able to shake that off and move on and be like, okay, luck wasn't on my side that game. I still have another life, another chance to win this round. Are they going to switch decks? Are they going to stick with it again? Was that maybe the tiebreaker? They both were 1-1 with that deck, and now the Elemental Saber went down. Is finally going to be a change, maybe to Blackwings?
I guess we'll see. They both seem to like their respective decks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep using the same deck. But time will tell.
Yeah, because it was a bit of like a luck factor. Like, yeah, I could see him being like, you know what? I should have won that game. I opened really strong. The Alistair just wasn't there. I bet this time it'll probably come through. It's definitely the tough decision. Like, when you have access to your entire library and you're in a game down 2-1, you're like, man, this is really on me. Like, my decision will determine if I win this next game or not. But let's go ahead and check on how round 3 is going for all our duelists.
Wow, we have 2 tables that had 3-0 sweeps. Those being table 1, where Raphael R 3-0'd Oscar V, and table 6, where Fabio P defeated Javier R 3-0. The remaining duels are still in progress.
Yeah, a lot of duels still going on. This is round 3. It's a pivotal round. A lot of people, half the tournament's 2-0, and then half of them went on to move on to 3-0 and almost secure themselves a chance in top 4, or at least put themselves in the most advantageous position they can be in. And that's what the goal is, to make that top 4, get those prizes, and then ultimately end up with this.
It's a beautiful trophy, and I know that all of the influencers are going to want that trophy in their background while they're streaming Duel Links or creating YouTube videos.
Yep, and this awesome wall scroll is fantastic. All the top 4 players will be receiving that awesome remote duel wall scroll. I know, I can't wait to see who's going to be the victor. Here for only round 3. Yep, so one more round of Swiss after this. But we are 2-3 games in. Who do you think is going to win this next one? Do you think we're going to a game 5?
We could. It could go to game 5. It's a toss-up. It's hard for me to say who I think is going to win. I think the matchup is pretty even generally if they stick with the same deck. So I don't know. I think it's really 50-50 there.
All right, well, I did just get an update. Rodrigo, looks like Rodrigo is switching decks. He's not going to rock the Element Saber. He's going to switch to a different Invoke deck, also with Alistair in it, the Invoke Neos deck. So he's just switching engines. He wants to be able to draw maybe just the Neos Fusion, but he's still going to need to draw that Alistair like he struggled to in the last game to net a victory here and even things out. But Adrian looks like he is going to switch to Element Sabers. So he's going to switch to the deck he just beat.
That's an interesting choice. I'm surprised.
That is very interesting, yeah. But it's not that surprising to me because he played 3 games with Dark Magician, right? And all 3 games, his opening play was set 2 pass, set 2 pass, set 2 pass. Maybe after the 3rd one, even though he was able to somehow eke out that victory, he's like, nah, I can't do this again. Let me switch to what you were using last. All right, so here we go. Game 3 is underway of Swiss Round 3. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Links Invitational.
Rodrigo opens up with Neos Fusion, which is exactly how he wants to start, sending Volcanic Shell and Elemental Hero Neos to the graveyard to summon Brave Neos.
Yep, the shell, you're going to be able to pay 500 to add another shell to your hand. Maybe use that for Regeki Break or Ultimate Providence. He has the Neos Fusion.
The shell in the graveyard, of course, fuels Invocation, so he can summon Perker Trio.
Yep, it fuels the Invocation for the grave, it fills your discard cards for your hand. Volcanic Shell is just one of those cards that's high utility. Palace coming down, though, for Adrian.
It's a good start for him, but Cosmic Cyclone is going to cut it off. We'll see if Adrian has a second copy of Palace of the Elemental Lords.
And Cosmic key card and stopping a lot of decks. Very popular card you're going to see in almost every Duel Links deck if they are able to play it, along with the semi-limited list. Normal summon of Element Saber Molu. Sets 1 back row. So yeah, with losing the Palace and still having the Saber, and it's not looking too good here for Adrian. We might be going to a game 5, depending on what his trap cards are.
Agreed. He's going to need some good back rows.
Certainly. So draw here from Rodrigo. Switcheroo, gonna change the card in his hand, didn't like what he had.
Made possible by the Cosmic Cyclone he activated on the last turn.
Rodrigo still looking for the Alistair from last game.
Let's see if he'll find it.
So he gets 2 shells in his hand. Oh, the card he probably just switched back was one of the shells, so probably only has 1 shell. That's a cool thing with Volcanic Shell. Not only does it fuel like all your cards, it turns into a real card on the following turn if you're using that dual skill.
Yeah, that's great synergy. Brave Neos attacks Molahu. Now it's up to Adrian if he wants to discard an Element Saber from his hand to try to put the Brave Neos face down. If he doesn't, and if he doesn't have a trap card to stop it, Brave Neos will destroy Molahu, which would mean that Rodrigo could use Brave Neos' effect to add another Neos Fusion from his deck to his hand.
Looks like he does have the Element Saber in his hand that he has to discard to put it face down.
Yeah, he gets rid of Nalu. But yeah, losing the Palace means he can't send the one from the deck. So now would be a great time to draw Alistair.
Nope, neither player seems to know what Alistair is. He's ever elusive in all of these games. One of the most powerful cards in Duel Links, but not too strong if you can't ever draw him. Another Cosmic Cyclone coming down here for Rodrigo. He's down to 1,000 life points, only doing damage to himself. With 2 Cosmics and 2 shells.
Your favorite card, Billy!
Wall of Disruption! There it is, I told you! Wall of Disruption. If you play Duel Links, and you attack your opponent with 3 monsters, there is a chance they have Wall of Disruption face down. I don't care what year it is. That card is like, it creates mayhem, that's for sure. The permanent attack loss where they have to stay on the board with 0 attack is what's so devastating most of the times.
It's a great card against computer opponents and while you're auto-dueling as well, since they don't play around it.
I like it in his deck list. I can see he's playing 21 cards, and that's just the 21st tech card. I like that. I can respect that.
So Keeper of Dragon Magic is summoned to the field. Its effect allows him to special summon Neos back from the graveyard by revealing the Brave Neos from his extra deck. And things are just getting increasingly grim for Adrian, who has one card in his back row and nothing else against a full field, a back row, and 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Adrian's gonna need like an Alistair to go into Purgatrio and pierce over the monster for game. I don't know how much defense. No, that's not even. It might be. That's enough. I think Neo's defense is 2,000, right?
It is 2,000. So it would be slightly short because he can't get to 3,000 attack. But there's the Alistair.
With the Alistair, yeah, he drew the Alistair. No, the Alistair puts it to 3,000. But
you're right.
But the Ultimate Providence is the perfect card to stop the Alistair. He drew the perfect card to win in the situation, but Rodrigo saying, yes, I may have paid my life points all the way down, but that's because I have everything to stop you.
You're right. Purgatrio also could have attacked the Keeper of Dragon Magic, so that also would have
for a
been
little extra damage.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. Alistair was not happening.
Providence. Now Rodrigo showing the power of Invoked Neos, going first, having a great setup, having the Ultimate Providence with the shell, the skill to put the shell back, all the resources, all the management, resulting in a duel win here, most likely, if these attacks go through, and evening out this series 2-2. Looks like he saw the wall. This is that wall disruption. He saw the first one, and was like, nope, you're not gonna get me. Just the thought of seeing that wall disruption might buy Adrian enough time, maybe, if he has a Canadian here.
We'll see.
Oh wow! Now he can draw Alistair.
You're right. If that was in attack position, the duel would be over. But because he played cautiously, he got another turn. Oh!
That's it. Sorcery Conduit.
Incredible. Rodrigo's going to need Seer Karibo to survive this.
He does play 2 copies of Seer Karibo, so in before he has the ultimate counter to every play that Adrian has tried to make here to win this game. But this whole thing just happened because of just seeing that first wall disruption was the reason why he even played around it in the first place. Wall disruption is so powerful. Alright, Purgatrio's coming down. Does he add back the Alistair to his hand? He has to have Seer Karibo or it's going to be game with just 2 attacks. Or 1 attack if he uses the Alistair. It has to be Seer. Oh, there's a delay maybe?
The delay could be the Alistair trigger also.
Oh, Seer Karibo. But, okay, so Seer Karibo's right. Purgatrio has 2,000 defense. Is there any way Rodrigo can pump up his monster's attacks? Because if not, the Alistair's going to be able to protect the Purgatrio in defense mode. And boost his defense to 3,000.
Yeah, he's going to need some sort of spell or trap to get rid of it. Or he's going to need maybe his own invocation or some sort of combination of cards that get him over 3,000 attack.
Okay, he has Neos Fusion from his hand, yeah. This should be able to finish it off right here. If he's able to make... Can he make Adoration with Neos Fusion? Or no? I don't think so. Let's see what... Maybe he's just making another Brave Neos. Yeah, I think he's just making another Brave Neos?
That could be, because it'll keep him alive.
Yep, and then there's another Brave Neos. No, he's still 300, 300. Yeah, this will still be game. Oh, does he get a... No? I don't know what I'm missing here.
You're right, that will be game because he didn't get rid of his Keeper of Dragon Magic. Because that's still on the field. He has his own Alistair, but
Alistair! Oh my god.
Man.
This has incredible... Rodrigo using every single one of his cards through however many turns to perfectly push this game to a game 5. What a crazy match. That's one of those times, like, at the end of that game where I just kind of look at my cards and I'm like, well, they used every card they had. Well, did I do something wrong? Like, no, he played it perfectly to have a chance to come back. That was one of the best games we've seen so far, for sure.
Yeah, that was a strange back-and-forth duel.
Yeah, to top deck the Alistair, for him to have the Ultimate Providence with the Alistair, to have your skill trigger to get you another Alistair, to have the Seer Karibo would still be okay, for them to have the fusion. We knew he had the fusion already, but then he had to have drawn, that one card, the Alistair. He had to draw the Alistair that he was looking for from the previous game, the reason why he lost the game before to put him in this position, and then finally he showed up like 20 turns deep. That's actually pretty cool. That was some exciting stuff, and it's going to push us to a game 5 here of this 3rd round of Swiss of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Remote Duel Invitational. if I were both these players, that game was so good, I would be like, nah, let's run it back. Let's run that back again. Let's see. I want to see you do that again. I want to see you counter every card I play perfectly one more time. And then, because it was from the very beginning, like the Palace, Cosmic, like every single play he did. It's just one of those games. Like that's what I always call it. Just one of those games.
Yeah, there's not much that either player could have done about it. At table 2, Alejandro G took a 3-2 win. We also have matches finished at tables 1, 5, and 6, 2 of which ended in 3-0 sweeps. And at table 5, Moises M defeated Brian R 3-2. Half of the matches are still in progress.
Yeah, a lot of awesome matches to go. We're about at the halfway point. 6 total rounds, 4 rounds of Swiss, then the semifinals and the finals. Exciting action. The nail biter we saw that 3-2 just there on the scoreboard. What do you think is going to play out here in Game 5? Are the players going to stick with the same decks? Are they going to switch it up?
I wouldn't be surprised if they stick with the same decks. They seem to both have an affinity for the Invoked engine. One using Element Sabers,
so
the other using Eos. Yeah, Alistair's really powerful. It was powerful in the TCG. It's powerful in Duel Links. So we might see more Alistair, but it's refreshing to not see Blackwings.
It certainly is. Well, now that we've been watching this match, I feel like it's been a while since neither of these players have been playing Blackwings too much, but definitely have to see if Rodrigo sticks with the Invoked Neos deck. It worked out perfectly for him, but you have to think like maybe he knows like everything had to work out perfectly for him to win that game, so maybe he doesn't want to risk it to be like that again. But then again, maybe that's just his Destiny deck, and he's like, oh, this is the one that's going to take me to victory.
Could be. It's hard to put down a deck you win with, right?
Yep, it does look like one of the players is going to be using Elemental Sabers. There is only 8 minutes left in the time limit for this last game, so these players are going to have to play fast. Otherwise, whoever might be higher in life points is going to move on with the victory. It's something you don't think about time limit in Duel Links, but the games have, even though there's only 4,000 life points, they progressively have like gotten more back and forth and take quite some time sometimes.
Yeah, certain decks are a lot slower than others. You have like fast combo decks that win in one turn, like Blackwings and Cyber Dragons, and then you have the slower back and forth decks like Witchcraft, sometimes even Lightsworn, that take a while to play and can easily go to that 45-minute time limit.
Yep, certainly. And it does look like it is going to be an Elemental Saber Invoked versus Elemental Saber Invoked mirror match. But Adrian, after seeing the success of Wall of Disruption in the first game, decided to play another copy into his deck. We'll see if that plays a factor here. Alright. Let's see who is going first. Looks like Rodrigo's going to go first with 2 cards to his back row. And a set monster. Not an ideal opening. No Palace here.
That's definitely a rough start.
Molu coming down for Adrian. He has 1900 attack, so if his opponent's set an Alistair, he'll be able to attack over it.
He has to be careful, though, because if that's a Lapola face down, it'll become a face-up monster with 2100 defense that negates spell and trap cards, and is a lot harder to destroy. So he may actually refrain from attacking here.
Looks like you're right on that one. He's not going to take the risk and not attack the face down. He's just going to pass.
He's basically challenging Rodrigo. If you want to Lapola face up on the field to negate my spell and trap cards, you're going to have to normal summon it and leave it vulnerable for a turn to attacks from basically any of my monsters.
Sets another monster and another card face down. All his cards are out of his hand, and did he switch to Infernities? No, unfortunately not. I haven't got to see Infernities yet. They're brand new to Duel Links, which is probably why we won't see him this weekend, because players haven't really got time to get comfortable with them and understand the deck in and out. But I still hope someone switches to it later in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that if your opponent is not using the Callan Kessler character or Dark Signer Callan Kessler, he's probably not playing Inferno.
Yeah, that Inferno dual skill is pretty insane. But looks like another monster, normal summon his Element Saber Molu. Gonna declare an attack on itself.
Adrian has the option of getting rid of an Element Saber to put Rodrigo's Molu face down. Rodrigo doesn't have that luxury with no cards in his hand, but we'll see if it's really worth using a card for that.
And no cards in hand, no palace on the field, just a 1900 vanilla. Let's see what, yeah, Adrian, I'd imagine he'd want to put it face down. Oh, nope, he's going to wall disruption.
Oh, man!
Wall disruption, one monster, but that's 1900 points of damage.
Oh, that was a lot of damage from having 3 monsters.
It really was.
Loses 800 attack points permanently for each monster in that field. So since there were 3, the monsters lost 2,400 points. 2,400 attack points, dropping down to 2.
Yep. It's funny to see wall disruption's still a mainstay after all this time. It's probably especially good in like an invoked mirror match, because all the invoked monsters kind of have to rely on attacking. So we see a flip summon the Alistair. When it's flipped face up, it's going to be able to search his deck for Invocation.
He's going to have to activate one of his face down cards if he hopes to activate Invocation, unless he has an Invocation face down.
Let's see what he says to grab. Only thing to grab is Invocation, so maybe just... Oh, the opponent was thinking if he wanted to stop it. So Fiendish Chain going to flip up on the Alistair. So if Rodrigo does have an Invocation face down, it's huge. Nope, he doesn't. He's going to chain that Regeki break to stop the Fiendish Chain from stopping his Alistair.
That's really good. It also opens up the Spell and Crap card zone slot for the Invocation if he wants to activate it. But there's another Fiendish Chain!
Oh no. Now this is when he has to flip up his other Alistair that he left set. Now he's going to bring back that Canadian that he just discarded since the trap was activated, just to put a body on the board. Alistair is negated. Let's see what he decides to do here. Adrian... Ooh, summons his own Alistair. That's huge. Now both players have access to Alistair. Does Rodrigo have something to negate his effect, just as Adrian stopped his own Alistair?
I think he's going to need it. If target trio comes to the field, one attack and it's over with the Canadian defense mode with 0 defense points. I'm not sure that there's a fire monster in the graveyard or that Adrian has a way to get a fire monster into the graveyard, but we'll see, because that's step 2 after Invocation enters the stand.
Right. Maybe he has like a Regeki break face down, maybe try to take out one of the back rows and then use the Invocation with the thing he discarded? Nope, he's just going to use the Invocation with the monster from his hand.
It could be a fire monster in his hand.
Activates Invocation, and looking to see if there's a response. Time is ticking down. There's only 2 minutes left in the round. And with Adrian being higher in life, this could prove to be pretty pivotal. Thinking about a response here. Fusion summon the Alistair and the cards in his hand.
It's unfortunately Nalu in his hand. And it's getting hit by Floodgate Grapple anyway.
Yep, completely put it face down. Invocation's going to go back into the deck, and Alistair's going to return to the hand. So maybe Adrian goes the battle phase here. Attacks. I'd probably do some damage, attack over the Alistair. Or actually, since he's Yugi, I might just attack over the Canadian.
I'd probably go for the Canadian. I don't want to
just in case he has the dual skill. Yeah. Even if he's using Sorcerer Conduit, did he already use the dual skill? I can't remember if it was this game or the last game. And I think it was Adrian who ended up using the Sorcerer Conduit. When that was a couple games ago. But we'll have to wait and see which dual skill it is. I think it is Destiny Draw. Now that I'm looking at the deck list. So yeah, just having that 100 life points is huge here. Not letting him trigger the skill to draw any card he wants from his deck for a turn. Time is counting down though, so things are not looking good. Call fire. Adrian has to do some damage fast. He has another invocation.
Another
He's gonna try
invocation.
Yep, he's going to go for Purgatrio since he has a fire and an Alistair. Unfortunately, he's used the Alistair from his hand, so it's not going to be banished, so he's not going to be able to cycle the invocation again. And another Floodgate Travel Met from Purgatrio. Not being able to get any action done, he's going to have to pass. But
it looks like time in the round is called, and with higher life points, Adrian is actually declared the winner to take the match in that final duel.
Yeah, even having those two Floodgates putting this guy down, he didn't have anything proactive to get damage on that board fast enough. The players knew time was winding down, and that's the way it goes. But congratulations to both players. One moving on 3-0, the other 2-1. Both have a shot at making the top 4 with a win in the final round.
Yeah, Element Sabers are one of those decks that could be slower, especially because the invoked water fusion monster, Cocytus, is tough to get rid of with its 2,900 defense points, it being impossible to destroy or target, and Alistair being able to boost his defense. So, and the deck is pretty trap heavy, which just naturally delays the duel, because those trap cards have to be set before they can be activated, so everything takes a little bit longer. And with all of the invoked and Element Saber cards that we saw in those duels, unfortunately they could not complete the match in 45 minutes, and time was a factor.
Yep, and that's the way it goes sometimes, but we are through 3 rounds of Swiss. Stick around, and we'll be back for some more awesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Remote Duel Duel Links actions. Don't go anywhere.